You could take my hand, and you could take my heart, and you could take my hand, and you could take my heart, and with you,
Hello everyone. Just before we get too much into it, not really as a warning, but just kind of like a heads up, there's going to be a little too TMI information on this video. So just kind of prepare for that. If you maybe have kids around or you don't want them to really hear the topic, mostly this title kind of just elaborates on what I will be talking about. So yeah, and if you're not a woman or a girl and you kind of can't relate to this and rather not hear about it, then also just you don't have to continue watching, but just a heads up. So far this whole week I haven't really vlogged or haven't really found the time. Well, I've had the time, I just haven't really been emotionally in a place where I just want to talk or share everything. So this video is mostly about my pregnancy. On Tuesday we went to the hospital. I do work from home, so being at home I noticed that I actually started to bleed when I went to the restroom, and it wasn't, and this is already going into the info, so it wasn't a lot. It was mostly, it wasn't even bright red or anything, and when it's not, usually color plays a very important part when a woman is pregnant. So I didn't really think anything of it, and it wasn't even a lot or at all, and it wasn't a flow, so I didn't really worry about it until like maybe 30 minutes later, when I had to go back to the restroom, and it was more, and the color had already changed. Lance was actually already taking a nap. I do work late in the evenings, so I don't know why it is like this, where I just feel like I can do things on my own. And I was already getting ready. I was already packing, getting my coat to go to the hospital, getting my bags, just to see what was going on with me and my body, my baby. And so I got everything ready. I told my daughter that I would drop her off at my mom's, and while I was about to leave, Lance did wake up. He, obviously said he needed to come with me, so we went to the hospital. We waited there for a while, and when they finally saw us, they did a sonogram and they checked everything. And the weirdest thing, I never had a flow through this whole process. But after the sonogram, they confirmed to us that the baby was not moving and he did not have a heartbeat. So they told me that within the next 2 days that I would actually be passing him, sort of say. At that moment, I was pretty shocked, to be honest. Like, don't know the answers. Like, I think I do have questions and I don't have the answers to them. So when they let us know that, I just didn't really accept it. I didn't believe it. I have a friend really close to me that's experienced sort of the same issues, and while she's pregnant, and I just believe that as long as we heard his heartbeat, and it was strong at the time we heard it, he had his hands growing and his feet growing already, that it couldn't be true. Like, it just, we've came so far to be told that it's a miscarriage, and for me, my third miscarriage. So when they told us that, we left and we stayed in the car for a while after the hospital. And what really like hurts, it's everything about it hurts. Everything about it. I'm a human, and obviously I feel, you know, I haven't lost faith in what God has planned. I'm not angry at him. I have my questions, but I know that I don't have the answers to them, and all I can do is trust him. But during that moment, just looking at Lance is what really hurt me. I think he just tries to be so strong. He is so strong. But when you know your partner, you know your partner. And I could just see it in his eyes that he's hurting. I know that it's not something he quite understands, you know. I've experienced this. I've mentioned in one of my videos, if you've been keeping up with my weekly vlogs, I have mentioned how I did have miscarriages in the past before. They've all been during the first trimester, but this has hurt the most because I was farther along and I got to hear a heartbeat. I got to see his hands and feet. I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl for sure, but I just say he because we really wanted a boy. My first miscarriage was before my oldest daughter. I believe I was only about 5 weeks. I'm not even sure because I never really got to make it into a doctor. I found out I was pregnant on a Wednesday, and the week after that on a Wednesday is when I lost the baby. I went to the hospital and they did a sonogram and they confirmed it right there and there. I only had like a little bit from my body to dispose of everything inside, and so I don't know how else to call it. So they told me I would keep bleeding, you know, after that, and that was my first experience. And a year later is when I had my Sophia. And then 5 years later, then I got pregnant again, and this pregnancy was more of a blighted ovum. I don't know all the specifics, but I know that that's what they called it. A blighted ovum is when they really can't see a baby inside, but your body doesn't know that it's not, the baby's not growing, or they can't find it, and so you kind of still grow. I guess the sac was still there, but there was never a baby inside. Like, they never saw that baby was fully growing. They never picked up a heartbeat or anything, and it was almost at the 3 months where they're like, okay, there's nothing growing in there, you know, and it seems like you're getting smaller, like the inside, I don't know what part of the inside, maybe the sac itself was shrinking. And so they said that I would start bleeding, and I actually did that same day, and it was very painful. I was able to get off work for a week, and I'm glad that I was able to, because there was no way I would have been able to be at work in the condition that I was in physically. And of course it triggered me emotionally. So after the blighted ovum, it was about a year later, and I did get pregnant with Esther, and she was healthy. Both my pregnancies after the miscarriages have been very healthy, have been without no problems. During labor, it's been easy breezy, except for with Sophia. It was my first pregnancy, so I was in labor for a very long time, but other than that, both pregnancies after a miscarriage have been good. They've been really good. And one of the things we did talk about, me and Lance, was if this were to happen, like, I know for sure in my heart that the next one would be healthy. It would be a good pregnancy, because it has been my experience. And now with all this happening, and just as far as we did get, it obviously does create some doubts in my mind. Like, why did I get this far? Or why did we get this far to hear his heartbeat and see him physically grow, you know, and to then experience losing him. I've talked to other people who have reached out to me that have found out, not necessarily because I've told them. I only really reached out to my friend. She's experienced a lot of, difficulty, and it related to what I was experiencing, and so she's been up to date with everything that's happened. And I just wanted to get her input as far as like, hey, what did they tell you when you experienced this, and maybe I'm going through the same thing, and what's been happening. So she's been filling me in, and the moment they told me that I was miscarrying, she's been there, and so she knows. And obviously the other people that know are my parents. Through my parents, my brother's the only one that really knows. I know for all of you who have kept up with the vlogs, I just feel like it's right for me to share this experience with you guys. Me and Lance have talked about trying again, and we weren't really trying the first time. We were just letting it take its course. But we really do want a kid together. Both of us are on the same page about that. So as long as he still wants to, and of course I do, we'll just let it again take its course the way it needs to. They always tell me it's never something that you did. It's that the baby wasn't forming right and your body just rejected it, and I'm just gonna choose to accept that. That my body just knows that it was just not a good pregnancy. There's better plans. I know that both my girls are healthy and very smart. I can't deny that. They're very intelligent. They keep me on my toes. They're fast learners. They're amazing girls, and I know that the kids that God has given me and will give me that are healthy, that are smart. I don't blame him for anything. If I did not have God, I can tell you that I would not be okay right now. I think just knowing that my life is not my own, just realizing that I'm not in control of everything, that's really what has given me strength. I do trust him, and I believe that his timing is the right one. If this somehow is gonna serve its purpose, I might not be able to see it right now, and I might want to have the answers right now. But I know that within time, everything that has happened to me, everything, the good and the bad, it eventually makes sense. And those things that have never made sense to me, I probably don't even remember right now. But I know that I'm okay. I know that I am the person that I am right now because of everything that I've experienced. And I do know that with this experience too, it could only make my relationship with Lance stronger. So before, with my miscarriages, I've had to really deal with them alone. I never really was open and emotionally open with anyone before, as far as like through the experience of miscarrying. Before Esther, I really had my mom. I lived with my mom, but I just felt like I needed to still show that I was strong in front of her for some reason. I've always had to really deal with it alone, but that's the thing, that's never really been alone. It's really been God that has brought me through so much. This time, not only do I feel it a little bit more because he was bigger, and I keep saying we heard his heart, we saw his hands and feet, but also because experiencing this every day with Lance. We have a home together, we see each other every day, and we talk about it and we pray about it. He bought me flowers. They're not real. It's in representation that his love will always be alive. These flowers don't die, and the way he cares about me won't die. He gave them to me, like, it just really touched my heart. And I think we're just gonna keep growing closer. And going forward, I think we will wait before we say we're expecting. I think at least I'm gonna wait for the whole first trimester to go by, just because it's emotional to share too, but also because the girls, well, right now only Sophia knows, and she's been like my little partner through life overall, so she knows everything I've had to go through, and she really was, you know, upset that the baby is gone. Going forward, I think we will wait, even though it's so hard to keep inside. I know for me it is. I'm just gonna keep taking vitamins, my prenatals, just so my body's prepared for that. I'm gonna change my diet completely. I really drink coffee like every day, but as soon as I'm pregnant, like, I reduced it. But I think just next time I'm gonna completely eliminate it. I'm not saying that coffee is necessarily bad. My doctors never said it was, you know, something I should avoid, but I want to, because this is the third time. I'm gonna continue to trust God, and I'm gonna continue to have faith in knowing that His plans are what keeps us going. And if I did not have Him again, I would not have the strength that I have now. I've been a mess. As you can see, my hair is not even really like fixed up. Like, I haven't felt like really doing much at all. But He's the one that has given me peace. And for those people that have reached out to me, thank you. That's just hearing someone else's story, you know, and experiences. I know that this is common, and I don't know why, like how it just happens to a lot of women, you know. I'm not sure why. So next week I have an appointment with my doctor. I think what they're gonna do is just check that I have already cleaned out the baby inside of me, or my body has cleaned him out or has disposed of him already. They prescribed at the hospital with some pills to make my body draw out the baby faster, but I did not take those. I don't like having to take anything. I feel like any kind of procedure, when it involves like you know, having a baby be drawn out of your body, it reminds me a lot of an abortion. And I don't like to know that I made a choice somehow to have that happen. I understand that in some cases it may be necessary, but if my body can take care of it, then I'd rather try that first. I've never had like a DNC, what they call, as far as like vacuuming out the baby, and I've never had to take any kind of medicines to have him be drawn out with medicine. My body has always just done it on its own. I know that I'm farther along now, so next week they're gonna check if everything's already out, and if he's not, then they might recommend that. But I still want to just keep praying and hoping that my body takes care of it. I just don't want to go through a procedure. I think emotionally it would affect me more, knowing that I had to make a decision, you know. I just rather have it naturally. I don't know how else to explain it, but I just rather not make a decision on what should happen, because it's not my decision. I don't know. The other day I had to upload last week's vlog, and even that was emotional because I talk about how many weeks I am, and I actually made a poem before anything happened about our family towards the end of that blog, and I wanted to edit it so bad before I uploaded it, just because it had so many things about baby in there. And I told Lance, like, I want to edit it, but I just feel like if I do, it's not genuine, and it cuts out a lot of what that week meant to me, and I don't want to do that. Because more than anything, I do vlogs, you know, in some way or another. I do want to inspire somebody through my story. I don't know what the future holds or what will happen through the course of recording vlogs, but I know that a lot has happened already in my life that eventually it'll come up maybe on some blog, and pray it touches somebody. And I know that I am in poetry, I always like to express myself, so if it can touch one person, I just would like God to work through me in that and use me as his instrument to do so. And a lot of the times that I also blog, it's just for me to keep memory of all the great things that have happened in my life, and keep record somehow visually of the videos of my family, of things I've experienced, things I can look back on, just to have even on YouTube, and if I can share with people that care enough to watch and follow, then that's cool, you know, like they can be a part of the journey some way or another. I do it for me too, and for my girls, that when they grow up they can see, you know, the things that we did and stuff like that. I like to record a lot and keep a lot of memories, and sometimes it's hard to draw them back from like files and emails that I sent myself of videos. So you know, just be inspiration for their future too, and just to be a reminder of the strength that God has given us. But yeah, my body has definitely been feeling different. I've only been in pain one day, which was the other morning, where I could not get up. My stomach was hurting really, really bad. My back, my chest, everything was hurting, and I had to take something for it. But then after that, like nothing else was hurting, and I haven't really been in much pain. It's more like my tummy has been sore. So that's what I've been feeling like. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I know that some people won't understand this maybe, or might be a little bit weirded out. I hope you guys can subscribe, just like, and hit that notification bell. I do plan on posting a poem soon. Yeah, just see what else God has in store for us, and yeah, just praying, trusting God, his will be done and not ours. See y'all guys in the next vlog.